When you think about that, what comes to mind? Payments, interest rates, stress? Maybe you just feel stuck. But here's the thing. All of that is just a distraction from what debt really is, because debt is a war over your tomorrow money. I mean, think about it. Your mortgage, your car payments, your credit card payments, all those payments depending on money you haven't even earned yet. And right now, you're losing the three most important battles in the war over your tomorrow money. And battle number one is going to shock you. Battle two, it's costing you thousands. But battle three, that's where most people lose everything. I'm going to show you, though, in this video, how to win all three battles. And battle three is the most important, so stick with me. But here's what most people don't realize. Winning this war has almost nothing to do with lowering your payments or even chasing better interest rates. Those are just distractions from what's most important. The only way to win the war is to change what I call your debt direction. And there are three battles you must win to change your debt direction and win the war over your tomorrow money. Right now, as you're watching this, you're heading toward what I call the retirement cliff. And here's the scary part. When you go over it, you don't die. You just have to work until you do. Just the other day, I was walking out of the grocery store and I saw something. It just stopped me cold. A nice older gentleman, he was probably in his late 60s, and he was taking a break from bagging groceries. I know this because he had just bagged mine. He didn't notice that I was looking his way, but all I can tell you is the way he was leaning up against that brick wall outside the store and the look on his face, let's just say he wasn't happy to be spending his Sunday afternoon loading up shopping carts. But that's what happens when you go over the retirement cliff. Instead of enjoying your golden years, you're stuck punching a clock to make up the difference between the life you should have had and the one you actually wind up with. Money comes in, and when you make your debt payments, all that money winds up in the bank's vaults instead of funding your future. You're using your tomorrow money for today. And when tomorrow comes, because your debt direction siphoned off all those payments out of your hands and into their vaults, you go over the cliff. And it's not because you're not generating wealth, because you are. Zippia.com says the average individual will earn $2.7 million during their working lifetime. And right now, you're just a middleman between all those millions and the banks. And when you hit retirement, your job as that middleman, it can't end. Unfortunately, you're not alone, because according to the National Institute on Retirement Security, 92% of all hardworking Americans are speeding towards that retirement cliff, and they have almost no hope of avoiding it. Why? Because they're doing exactly what you're doing right now. You're working hard, making payments, and trying to be responsible, but unaware you're just feeding a banking system that is devouring your future. And when you finally reach retirement age and go over that cliff, that's when you discover the real horrible truth. All those years of building wealth, well, you did actually build wealth, but it just wasn't for you. Here's what's important to understand. While you're working, your income is a renewable source. And when your debt direction is pointing the wrong way, you're forced to keep renewing that resource until the day you die, just to survive. Meanwhile, those institutions have collected the vast majority of your millions, leaving you stuck with just like a Social Security check and maybe a few bucks from a 401k. And the older you get, the closer you get to that cliff. But being aware that it's real should shake you into realizing you have a choice. Work until you die, or start planning to avoid that cliff now. And I know you're probably thinking, how the heck can I do that? Well, you're not alone, because the 3 million people we've already helped, well, they felt the exact same way too. One of the first steps to avoiding that cliff is to understand the numbers behind your payments, because believe it or not, you're actually paying up to 50% or more in interest every month. Common interest right now, and I'll make sure you get the calculator you're going to see in just a moment that reveals the brutal truth about your payments. And when you see this, you're going to begin to understand why you're heading for that cliff. The reason you're heading for the retirement cliff is because you're trapped in what I call the payment matrix. The payment matrix, it's a banking system that's designed to hypnotize you into consuming your wealth. And if you're thinking, what the heck kind of wealth are you talking about? That is how you know you're plugged in. The institutions you pay know something about you that you don't know yourself, something I just mentioned a few moments ago. You, like almost everyone else, will generate between $2 and $3 million during your working lifetime between ages 25 and 65. That's why when you need an education, lenders are swooping in to help with loans, right? Your first car, they're right there in the dealership, so you could walk out of the building and enjoy the new car smell. And when it's time to buy a home and raise a family, they come riding in again like the cavalry. And it's not because they want to help you. It's important you understand that. It's because they want to help themselves to all your tomorrow money. And I'm going to prove that to you right now. What you never see is how they stack the numbers against you. Just take a look at my how much interest are you really paying calculator and how the Fortunato numbers stack up. They have a mortgage payment, a couple car payments, and a handful of credit card payments. In total, they're making $3,133 in monthly debt payments. But here's what they never knew until we ran their numbers through the calculator. Of the $3,133 in monthly payments, almost 57% was lost to interest. Now you might be thinking, how is that even possible? Because their mortgage is only at 6.75%. Car loans are at just 8%. And their credit cards, while they're higher, but they just range from 18 to 23%. Remember, interest rates are a distraction. What most people don't realize is this. The interest rates you're charged, they only determine your monthly payments, not how much actual interest you're going to pay in dollars. Just look at these numbers. The Fortunato's credit card and car payments are costing them between 23.55% and 61.13% in actual interest dollars this month. Even their good debt mortgage, of their $1,495 mortgage payment, $1,189.36, it goes to interest. That's almost 80% of their payment. And when you add it all up, $3,133 in monthly payments, $1,775.40 goes to interest. That's nearly 57 cents of every dollar. And believe it or not, it gets worse. Let's talk about something else the payment matrix distracts you with, your DTI or debt to income ratio. This is the number lenders use to approve or deny you for loans. And they say that anything under 36% is healthy. The Fortunatos, well, they have a DTI of just 34%. But what most people overlook is that your DTI is based on your gross income, while your bills are obviously paid with your net income. So the real question is, how much do you have to gross just to bring home enough money to make your payments? In the Fortunato's case, they have to gross $4,291.79 every month just to bring home enough for their $3,133 in monthly payments. That adds up to over $51,500 a year, which is nearly 47% of their total gross income. They're working almost 6 months of every year just for the payment matrix, and you probably are too. And this is why I teach everyone I can one very simple truth. Just because you can make your payments doesn't mean you can afford them. Because if your payments were truly affordable, think about it. Wouldn't you be sitting on a pile of cash somewhere right now? You see, for you right now, this is that scene in the Matrix when Morpheus is offering Neo the red pill or the blue pill. So you need to get your red pill right now and comment interest below. And I'll send you the how much interest are you really paying calculator, because it's like a polygraph for your payments. Because being aware that you're trapped in the payment matrix is the first step to getting unplugged. So far you might be thinking, Tony, this makes sense, but how the heck am I supposed to buy a car or a house without a loan? Well, first of all, it's not about paying cash. It's about buying your own debt. Instead of borrowing from the banks, you fund your own purchases and you pay yourself back. You become your own bank. Because your checking account, it's like a bus station for your dollars. They just come and go. But there is a type of account that lets you use your money while it keeps growing. You use today's money for today and tomorrow instead of just for today or tomorrow. And when the Fortunatos did this, here's what happened. They paid off all of their debt, $250,000 in just 9 years and 3 months. Doing that saved them over $120,000 in interest. And not only were they able to become debt-free decades faster and save a small fortune in interest, they also accumulated over $67,000 in tax-free cash with the same dollars they used to become debt-free. And when they're debt-free, they're able to get on the path to accumulating over $1.4 million in tax-free cash that will pay them $80,000 a year in tax-free income into their 90s. And get this, because this is super important. While they're accumulating that small fortune, they can use it to buy cars, a new home, education for their kids, vacations, whatever they need today, while they're simultaneously accumulating $1.4 million that will help them avoid going over the retirement cliff. And you do this with an entirely different kind of banking. It's called private family banking. And when you comment interest, I'll not only send you my how much interest are you really paying calculator, I'll also send you the exclusive YouTube edition of my new book, Transforming Payments into Prosperity. It'll teach you, what the payment matrix is, how it works, and why you need to get unplugged ASAP. You see, over the past 30 years, we've helped over 3 million people unplug. And with my new book, I'm on a mission to help 1 million more. And I would be honored if you and your loved ones were next. So comment interest now and grab both the calculator and the exclusive YouTube edition of my new book, because winning the debt direction war over your tomorrow money is possible. You just need to have the right battle plan, and now you do. Avoid the retirement cliff, and now you know that it's there, it'll be easier to avoid. And then unplug from the payment matrix by giving your payments a polygraph, and change your payment direction by deploying the private family banking platform. And when you change your payment direction, you win the debt direction war. And if you want to see what it looks like to escape the payment matrix, you can watch this video right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.